to do the analysis, of course, I have in the studios Mr. Peter Anosike. You have heard his voice more than once. You do know that Mr. Peter Anosike is a philosopher, a development economist, a journalist, and a best-selling author. He is the author of Dangote's 10 Commandments on Money, the book that was rated as one of the best development books in the world by the prestigious Wall Street Journal. And here in Nigeria, it was adopted as a workbook for grooming entrepreneurs by the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria, that is SMIDAN, which is a federal government agency in charge of small and medium businesses in Nigeria. Wow, I mean, really, what a resume, you know. So, and when we get into the conversation, he will be analyzing and dissecting these topics. You really want to sit back and you want to listen. The best part is you can get to see what is going on in the studio. All you need to do is head on over to our YouTube channel. Go to YouTube, type into your search bar Voice of the People 90.3 FM or VOP 903 FM. We will pop up. We are live right now, so you can watch us from wherever you are in the world. My name is Ijeoma Innocent. I am your host. Now let's take a look at some of the topics that we will be analyzing, that we'll be talking about today, beginning with this topic that says Tinubu should review Rex appointment, according to ex-INEC chairman Jega. So Jega says President Tinubu should review appointment of resident electoral commissioners. So the former chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, that is INEC, Atahiru Jega, has called on President Bola Tinubu to review the appointments of the commission's resident electoral commissioners, RECs. Jega said President Tinubu should review their appointment due to concerns that some of these RECs are partisan. All right, about a month ago, President Tinubu had nominated 10 RECs with the Senate confirming their appointment. However, some of them have been accused of being involved in partisan politics. Now, reacting to the criticisms, Jega, who is the former INEC chairman, said the non-review of their appointment sends the wrong signal to the people. While featuring on a TV program on Monday, the former INEC chairman says, and I quote, "I think there is no doubt that if the president were listening, my advice would be to immediately review the appointment of the resident electoral commissioners that was passed by the Senate recently." He goes on to say, "It is a very, very important because clearly, not only does it send the wrong signal about the government's intention to improve the integrity of elections, it also suggests, that there is indifference with regards to protecting the independence and impartiality of the election management body. I would want to believe that Mr. President was either misinformed or is not really furnished with all the necessary details with regards to these appointments." Yes, that is the first topic that we'll be looking at today, and that the former INEC chairman Atahiru Jega has said President Tinubu must review the appointment of INEC's resident electoral commissioners. Right here on the recap, and we're taking a look at all the stories that we'll be analyzing, talking about, and dissecting today. Moving forward, we also have Ariwola and Fagbemi, that's the CJN and the AGF, asking a reduction in the number of cases that are filed at the Supreme Court. Okay, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, CJN Justice Olukayode Ariwola, and the Attorney General of the Federation, AGF Lateef Fagbemi, have called for a reduction in the number of cases that make their way to the Supreme Court. The CJN and the AGF were of the view that the reduction is imperative in view of the current workload of the Apex Court. Now, they spoke in Abuja on Monday, November 27, at a special court session to mark the Supreme Court's 2023/2024 legal year and the swearing in of 58 new senior advocates of Nigeria. Sans Justice Ariwola, who disclosed that the Apex Court delivered a total of 251 judgments during the 2022/2023 legal year, says Nigerians are too litigious. Oh my goodness. Okay, moving forward, he said, and I quote, "I have made it clear on different occasions that it is not every dispute that must find its way to the court, and it's not every matter that must come up to the Supreme Court on appeal. Our laws have to be amended to make most appeals end at the Court of Appeal, which is competent, dexterous, and well equipped with the right materials and manpower to adjudicate effectively and resourcefully. The CJN also, moving forward, acknowledged that the current depletion on the bench of the Apex Court, and he assured that 11 new justices would soon be appointed for the Supreme Court. Now, the CJN also stressed the importance of judicial independence in any democracy and said that the judiciary at the sub-national level deserves to be independent. He says again, and I quote, "We actually expected the independence of the judiciary to be given adequate statutory protection." Okay, we're talking about this one where the CJN and the AJF are saying there are too many cases going to the Supreme Court. And here is what the CJN says in his own words. "We actually expected the independence of the judiciary to be given adequate statutory protection, not just at the federal level alone, but equally at the state level, so that they could be seen to be truly and genuinely independent in all ramifications. The rule of law, with all its well-understood facets, has been highly questionable since the advent of a democratic government in 1999. Speaking further, the CJN said, and I quote, "The judiciary as it is today is more deserving of public trust and confidence than ever before, and we are poised to reposition it for effective justice delivery to make our beloved country a destination of note in the observance of the rule of law and the tenets of constitutionalism." Well, moving forward, on his part, the Attorney General of the Federation, that is Lateef Fagbemi, said the huge volume of cases before the Supreme Court makes it necessary for the relevant authorities to evolve ways of reducing cases that go before the Apex Court. He said, and I quote, "We must begin to develop innovative solutions towards enhancing the working capacity of the Supreme Court, cutting down on the number of appeals that get to the Supreme Court as well, implementing critical judicial reforms, as well as adopting alternative dispute resolutions mechanisms." The AGF further urged the National Judicial Council to fast-track the ongoing process of appointing more justices for the Apex Court. He cautioned lawyers against engaging in analysis of cases pending in courts in the media. He said it is fast becoming a sad norm, and regrettably so, for legal practitioners to appear at television or radio stations discussing pending matters. He also says, "We have seen lawyers after the court sitting discussing on what transpired in the proceedings. You must resist the urge to engage in such practice. You must also reject the temptation by media houses inviting you to analyze or discuss pending matters. The doctrine of sub judice enjoins lawyers and even members of the public to refrain from commenting on and discussing cases. You should not be seen breaching this doctrine." End quote. All right, you're listening to the recap right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. This is a program where we analyze and discuss some of the major issues that trended during the week. All right, and I've brought up about two of the topics that we'll be looking at today. One of which is that the former INEC chairman Atahiru Jaga is saying that President Tinubu must review the appointment of resident electoral commissioners for INEC. And the Chief Justice of Nigeria and the Attorney General of the Federation are seeking a reduction in the number of cases that are filed at the Supreme Court, saying not all cases have to get to the Apex Court. Now, moving forward, legal luminary Chief Wole Olanikpekun, who is a senior advocate of Nigeria, has said that majority of Nigerians currently live in poverty. In fact, he stressed that over 70% of the citizens are living below the poverty line. He spoke in Ikere Ekiti, his country home in Ekiti State. The legal icon pointed out that there was tension, unrest, anxiety, pressure, confusion, hatred, anguish, pain, distress, and transferred aggression amongst many people. According to him, the situation in Nigeria is much more challenging, coupled with the burden of insecurity that it has faced for over a decade. Moving forward, we'll also be discussing President Tinubu's first 6 months in office, the federal government spending hugely and citizens not feeling the impact of the administration 6 months into it. Now, let's take a look. In the last 6 months, the three tiers of government, that is the federal, the state, and the local councils, local government, have shared 5.57 trillion naira as allocation from the Federal Account Allocation Committee, FAAC, according to, investigation. Now, within this period, which is President Bola Tinubu's first 6 months in office, he assumed power on May 29. The federal government raked in 2.097 2.097 trillion naira rather as allocation. The 36 states got 1.8285 trillion naira. The 774 local government areas received 1.346 trillion naira. And the oil producing states cornered an additional 298.648 billion naira as 13% derivation. Now, let's take a look at the worsening hardship in the past 6 months. The citizenry across the country are still awaiting the impact of the humongous funds received and expended by the various governments as hardship bites harder and human development indices plummet amid rising waves of insecurity. Now, on the heels of sustained spike in food prices, Nigeria recorded the 10th consecutive rise in inflation rate in October, with the figure hitting 27.33% from 26.72% recorded in September. Inflation, the rate at which price rises, keeps going high. Now let's take a look at human development indices, which from investigations is actually poor. As of Thursday this week, that was about 2 days ago, data from the Worldometer put Nigeria's population at 226.030 million. So there are over 226 million people in Nigeria. And we have a life expectancy of 53.89 years. Infant mortality is that's about 70 children out of 70.6 out of 1,000 live births, and under 5 mortality 109 out of 1,000 live births. Data from the World Health Organization also shows that Nigeria has an estimated maternal mortality ratio of 917 deaths per 100,000 live births, making it the 4th highest globally. Now, what this means is that Nigeria has one of the highest rate of women dying after childbirth. Shocking. Let's take a look at rising poverty. The Nigerian government, after its multidimensional poverty index MPI survey, reported that 63% of persons living in Nigeria, 133 million, were multidimensionally poor. As of June this year, the World Poverty Clock reported 71 million Nigerians as being extremely poor, as in zero naira, nothing. Now, the National Bureau of Statistics, which is the NBS, is yet to release the MPI results for this year. For 2023, analysts estimated that the number of multi-dimensionally poor Nigerians currently will be over 140 million, which is totally more than 50% of the population. Let's look at the rate of out-of-school children and the menace of out-of-school children. In the last 6 months, about little or nothing has been achieved in the fight to ensure that all children of school age are in Nigeria in classrooms. The federal government said Nigeria accounted for 12.4% of out-of-school children in sub-Saharan Africa. The executive secretary of the Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC, Dr. Hamid Boboye, said that Nigeria needed additional 20,000 schools and 907,769 classrooms to absorb the growing number of out-of-school children. Now, these figures are shocking, to say the least. You're listening to the recap right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. My name is Ijeoma Innocent. I'm your host. And finally, one of the last topics we'll be discussing today is how Nigeria is the largest gambling market in Africa. Over 65 million Nigerians engage in betting, and about $975 million worth of bets are placed daily in Nigeria. $975 million. Dip it. You really need to take that in. Well, you might say, oh, I've been going on and on for a while. I'm not alone in the studio. Mine is to bring the topics to your knowledge. I do have Mr. Peter Anosike in the studios with me to do the analysis. If you remember, if you recall, if you don't recall, if you hadn't tuned in, Mr. Peter Anosike is a philosopher, a development economist, a journalist, and a best-selling author. In fact, he's the author of the book Dangote's 10 Commandments on Money. Dangote's 10 Commandments on Money. The book was rated as one of the best development books in the world by the prestigious Wall Street Journal, and here in Nigeria, it was adopted as a workbook for grooming entrepreneurs by the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria, SMIDAN, which is a federal government agency in charge of small and medium businesses in Nigeria. Welcome to the recap, Mr. Peter Anosike. How are you today, sir?
I'm okay.
It's always a pleasure to have you here. Let's dive headlong into the conversation. I had to, go through everything we're talking about today, and the figures, the indices, they are totally shocking. But we'll be starting with
demoralizing.
Today we'll start with the former INEC chairman, that's Atahiru Jega, saying that President Tinubu should review the appointment of resident electoral commissioners for INEC. He says this is because there are concerns that some of them are partisan. About 1 month ago, the president had nominated 10 resident electoral commissioners. The Senate confirmed their appointments, and they went ahead to be deployed for the off-cycle elections. All right. The question is this: if the president, who is part of a political party and came into power by, he contested in the primaries, then he went on, contested general elections, and he won. And then his party is also contesting in these different elections, and he is appointing recs. Would it be going too far to think that these people who are appointed are actually partisan and would want to work in the interest of their parties? If INEC is to be really that independent National Electoral Commission, if they are to be independent, shouldn't it be up to INEC as a body to appoint their recs? Let's start from there. Maybe that's where the problem is.
For me, we have to work with the message and throw the messenger to the dustbin. Because the messenger being Atahiru Jega is one of the problems of this country.
Why do you say so?
Jega is one of the problems that we are having now, because he himself conducted a very fraudulent election, so he has no morality to pontificate on any issue. But the truth is that Section 156 of the Nigerian Constitution stated the qualities of somebody who should become a rec. And the section, I'm talking of Section 156 of the Nigerian Constitution, the section says that for you to be, the person that should be appointed a rec should be somebody of unquestionable character. And not a member of any political party. That the person that should be appointed as a rec should be somebody of unquestionable character, unblemished, and shouldn't be a member of any political party. But it is a fact that some of the recs that Ahmed Tinubu appointed a few weeks ago are card-carrying members of the APC. I can mention Umorin, the man that was appointed rec for Akwa Ibom. Umorin is a card-carrying member of APC. I have seen him in many APC campaigns, holding broom, wearing APC uniform. Understand? So such a person is already partisan, and as such does not qualify according to the Constitution to be appointed a rec. So what Tinubu did was against the Constitution of the country. Appointed people who are already partisan into rec. And you cannot expect those people to go into office and become non-partisan. It does not work, because they've already shown you where they belong to. And since you know that they are members of the APC and you appointed them as rec, they are going to defend the interest of their party. It's a natural thing. It's a natural thing. So the fact is that our electoral body is not independent, and from the books, it was not meant to be independent, and this is why
it was not meant to be independent.
It was not meant to be independent. From the books, from just like Nigeria was not made to work. Understand me? So Nigeria from foundation was not meant to work. So INEC as a body was not meant from the beginning to be independent. Those that set up these institutions set it up for their own interest. Let it work for their own interest. And since then, it has been working for their own interest. So what Jega said is a fact, but he should have made this call when he was the chairman of INEC, because it also happened during his own time, but he never said anything. That's why I say that we should throw the messenger away and evaluate the message. And the message is real, that appointing card-carrying members of a party is against the Constitution of Nigeria, because Section 156 said it, that people who are qualified to be resident electoral commissioner should be non-partisan. But it is the opposite that we are seeing now. And again, why I said that from the beginning that it was not meant to be independent is because, an instance, when a rec is appointed in Abuja and transferred to Rivers State, basically he is going to go to the governor on familiarization tour. Mr. Governor, I'm the new resident electoral commissioner for Rivers State. Understand? Then the governor will ask, okay, where are you staying now? The man will say, I'm just hanging out in a hotel. I have no accommodation. Understand? I have no cars. The former rec took away everything. The governor will be happy. The governor will call his chief of staff. Go and make sure that this rec is comfortable. Give him accommodation, give him cars, give him money, make him comfortable. So from that point in time, the rec has begun to compromise. So there's no way that person again will be independent, because somebody else is already taking care of his bill. Somebody is paying for his comfort.
Like, you want to be loyal to the person who is feeding him.
They say who pays the piper takes the tune everywhere in the world. That's why I said they were not meant to be independent. Understand? And that's the way it was set up. Just like Nigeria was not meant to work. So, and that's why when people are saying that Nigeria is not good, they are not saying anything new. That is how Nigeria was prepared not to work, not to function. And I'll be surprised any day Nigeria will begin to function, because it is not what it was designed from the beginning to do. So what Jega said is true, but it's coming late. He conducted the 2011 presidential general election. He conducted the 215 general election. He saw all these things, but he didn't cry out then. The question is now, why now? Why now? You messed up during your own time, and you now want somebody else to correct the mess that you did not take care of during your own tenure. So that's why I'm telling Nigerians that with the appointment of these recs, 2027 election has already been rigged in favor of APC, because those recs are going to do the bidding of their appointees. In Nigeria, there are two ways of getting of people in office showing appreciation. Understand? One, loyalty to the person that appointed them. Two, the highest bidder. These are the two things that works in Nigeria: the highest bidder and loyalty to the person that appointed you. That's why INEC is the way it is. That's where the judiciary is the way it is.
So the issue now is when the president appointed these 10 people, and they're saying that these people are partisan, are they to go there and make sure that that state is delivered to the ruling party?
That's the idea. That's the idea.
And now once the president has already made an appointment, no one in INEC, not even the chairman, can say this person is not the right person for the job.
Senate has confirmed them already. Understand? The INEC chairman is also in the pocket of the president. So there's nothing anybody can do. So 2027 election has already been rigged in 2023.
Okay. As it is right now, let's talk about the Senate confirmation of whatever bill or appointments that the president makes. There was a report that the budget that was brought, because the Senate has to go on end of the year break, that would be confirmed maybe on or before December 19th. It would seem that they don't really peruse it intently before giving their approvals. Why is that?
Because they are not meant to do that. Understand? They are meant to rubber stamp whatever comes from the president. That is why the president determines who becomes the Senate president. Understand? The principal officers, and the same thing with the House of Reps and the principal officers. So they are to do the bidding of those that appointed them. So they are not supposed to scrutinize the budget. When they do that, they are questioning the authority of the person that ensure that they are there. Understand? So they are not supposed to do it, especially when you are carrying corruption cases on your neck. Once you waste time in passing the president's budget, EFCC will knock at your door the next day.
So when when we look at it this way in Nigeria, where does it seem that we are going? Where are we going if everyone is partisan? Even people who are, it's like in the civil service. You know, before the election, you know that if you're in the civil service, because you are working for the federal government, you are not allowed to be partisan. There are so many people, even those of us in the media, we are not, even if you have a bias, even if you have a political party or a politician or someone that you support, you are not supposed to come on me on a program that's supposed to be, you're supposed to be neutral. There's so many people who are supposed to be neutral, who are unabashedly partisan, and they are showing it, and nothing is being done about it. Now that Jega has spoken about it, you are saying, okay, the messenger may be wrong, but the message is making sense. Who do we expect to take this up? Is it the same president that he's talking to, that is saying, look, this thing that you are doing, like, don't let it send the wrong signal to the people that the election, that there is no integrity in it? Where do we go from here? Like, what do we do about this? If you are having partisan people in such sensitive positions, that means the elections are compromised. There is no integrity in the electoral process.
Well, there's nothing anybody can do about it. Senate has already confirmed them. Understand? What Senate should have done is to say, no, these people are partisan. But they were appointed from APC, and APC members are in control of the Senate. They have the majority of members in the Senate. So there's no way they can reject their own people. So it is to their advantage, even if the 36 recs are card-carrying members of APC, it is to the advantage of the APC members in the Senate. Understand? So it ensures their continuity in office, because they are going to rig for them, as it happened in 2023.
All right, then you are listening to the recap right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. My name is Ijeoma Innocent. I'm your host, and with me in the studios, I have Mr. Peter Anosike for the analysis. In case you don't know it, Mr. Peter Anosike is a philosopher, a development economist, a journalist, and a best-selling author with so many best-selling books, in his repertoire here. We've been talking about the ex-INEC chairman, Tahiru Jaga, saying President Tinubu should review the appointment of INEC's resident electoral commissioner to preserve the integrity of our electoral process. Some elections will be coming up next year, like the Edo State election.
Edo and Ondo.
And Ondo State they will be electing new governors. So it would seem that we are having back-to-back elections in Nigeria for almost 1 year. And at every point, INEC is given a chance to redeem their image. Do you think they're going to do that? If they couldn't do that in the presidential general elections, they couldn't do that during the governorship elections. If they couldn't do that during the off-cycle elections, these ones that just passed, can they do that in 2024?
Redeeming an image is if you feel that you have done wrong. Understand? But INEC has not accepted doing wrong. So what image? Son? They are doing what they were asked to do. So we go to the next topic.
All right, then you're listening to Voice of the People 90.3 FM. This is the recap. Let us move on to the next topic. The Chief Justice of Nigeria, CJN Justice Olukayode Ariwola, and the Attorney General of the Federation, AGF Lateef Fagbemi, have called for a reduction in the number of cases that make their way to the Supreme Court. Now, the CJN and the AGF are of the view that a reduction becomes necessary in view of the current workload of the apex courts. That is, the CJN and the AGF are saying, look, there is too much work to be done at the Supreme Court, too many cases to be decided, too many cases to judge, and we need to reduce the number of cases that come from the Court of Appeal to the Supreme Court. Justice Ariwola went on to say that Nigerians are too litigious. That is, Nigerians, we too like courts. We any small thing, we've gone to the courts. He says Nigerians are too litigious. He says it's not every dispute that must find its way to the court. It's not every matter that must come to the Supreme Court. There needs to be a reduction. The cases at the Supreme Court is capable of handling this case, and if you don't like the judge of the Court of Appeal, you don't have to come to the Supreme Court. You have to take it like that. Well, you can call us up at 5 p.m. The phone lines will be open, and I'll tell you the phone lines. But for now, you can send a message on our WhatsApp platform. It's 0700 903 9039. 0700 903 9039. That is the number that you can send a WhatsApp message to. Also, we're streaming live on YouTube right now. You can leave a comment on our video, all right, and I will be taking that comment before the end of the show. I have with me still in the studios Mr. Peter Anosike to talk about these issues. Too many cases at the Supreme Court. We need to reduce them. What is your view on that? Nigerians are too litigious. What's your view on that?
He doesn't know Nigerians are not too litigious. If he goes to America, he will run away. In America, everybody is suing each other. In America, what Americans are good at is suing each other. Understand? So Nigeria is not too litigious. But already, with the kind of judgment that they are giving now, understand? They are already reducing it. Understand me? With the kind of judgment that they are giving during this election time, from the tribunal to the appeal court, they have on their own started reducing it.
So they're already reducing the number of cases in the Supreme Court.
On their own now, because one, the SDP guy, Ajaka, in Kogi, the SDP governorship candidate in Kogi, said that he will not go to court because he know that he is not going to get justice. Dino, the PDP candidate in Kogi, said that it will be a waste of time going that to court. Understand? So with their bad judgments, they are already reducing it. Because for me now, it will be foolishness on my own part, knowing that there's no justice in our court, that to go that to court for anything. I won't. Understand? Even if somebody misrepresented me, I'd rather beg that person, understand, than going that to court, because the court is not working. The court is not dispensing justice. So it is a waste of time going to Nigerian courts. So they are on their own already reducing the number of people going to court. Why should you go to court when you know that you will not get justice? Why should you go to court when you know that justice in Nigeria is for the highest bidder? Why do you go to court when you know that court doesn't make use of the evidences before them? So they are on their own, with their rules, with their indigo judgments. They are already telling Nigerians, don't waste your time by coming to here, because you not get what you want. So people on their own have started saying that they will never go to court anymore. But the truth is that it is the law. Law is the only thing that separates human beings from animals. Understand? Law is, once you remove law from the human society, we become animals. Once you know that you cannot get once you know that that there's nowhere to get redress for your problem, you resort to self-help. And that's what animals do. Animals don't have court. So they take their matters that's in their hands. So this is where these people are leading Nigerians to. Stop coming to court. Begin to take your matters in your hand. And it's very, very unfortunate.
Because more than once, everyone always advocates for, instead of solving issues with violence, resorting to physical violence or resorting to quarrels that would linger over and over again. The court is the last hope of the common man. Take it to court. Let someone else judge the case for you, between you and your neighbor, you and your landlord, you and your wife, you and whoever it is that you have an altercation or a problem with. So when the Chief Justice of the nation comes out and says, oh, Nigerians are too litigious, it's sounding like any smart in court. Any smart. And like you've said, and I'm inclined to agree, many times there are many issues that are swept under the carpet where they will say, oh, let's resolve it, it's a family matter. Sometimes you go to the police, take issues to the police, they'll say, no, go and resolve it in your house, it's a family matter. You could go with cases of domestic and physical abuse, they tell you, go and resolve it, and you go and talk with your husband, go and talk with your wife. It is a family matter. As you said, Nigerians are not too litigious. Is it not, for want of a better word, somehow that the Chief Justice of the nation, who is in charge of seeking justice for the, would I call the bereaved now, seeking justice for those who need it, saying, oh, you need to stop bringing your cases to the apex court? Where then do we take our cases? To God in prayer?
Mind you, those Supreme Court judges, that's what they are being paid for. That's why they are there. Understand? That's why they are there. They now want to share away from their responsibilities. So they want Nigerians to begin to take their matters in their own hands. They want Nigerians to start seeking for self-help. And that's why they say stop coming to court.
But we cannot resort to that, as that is a recipe for anarchy.
So pushing, they want to make Nigeria a banana republic. They want to make Nigeria to be worse than Somalia. When a chief judge of a country, CGN, is telling Nigerians, stop bringing your matters to the court, you are too, understand? To me, the only thing that separates a human society from animal society is the court. Once there's no court anymore, it becomes tit for tat. Understand? You dagger me, I dagger you. Since there's no court that will solve it for us. So they are not saying, in short, they could be high. Understand? They could be high on some substance because I don't know if people who are well-meaning, if people who think well can say such a thing. Because I cannot even advise people don't go to court. It means I want them to be taking matters in their own hands. I want them to resort to self-help. But imagine somebody who calls himself a judge making such a statement.
You know that the Chief Justice and the Attorney General of the Federation are actually talking about the Supreme Court, the highest of courts. We know that there are lower courts, there are civil courts, magistrate courts, you have the Court of Appeal, where you can take your case if you are not satisfied with the judgment of a lower court. But he is saying the amount of cases that come all the way to the Supreme Court, there are cases where people feel that what they got in their case was judgment and not justice, and they want to pursue it to the highest court, to the apex, to the apex court, to the
Constitution put that court there. Understand that if that cases goes to Supreme Court, understand me, that cases go to Supreme Court, murder cases go to Supreme Court. So when they say stop coming to the Supreme Court, what are you saying? It simply means begin to take matters in your own hands. And it's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate. You are listening to the recap right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. My name is Ijeoma Innocent. I am your host, and with me in the studios, I have Mr. Peter Anosike, a philosopher, a journalist, and author of so many inspiring books. We have been talking about different topics on the recap today, and right now we're talking about the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Olukayode Ariwoola, and the Attorney General of the Federation, AJF Lateef Fagbemi, calling for a reduction in the number of cases that make their way to the Supreme Court. So when people, Mr. Anosike, when people are not satisfied with the judgments that they are given and they take it all the way to the Supreme Court, the CJN is saying, look, just be satisfied. The judge that judged your case knows what he's saying. But if you're still living with a feeling of hurt after spending your time, your money, and after going through so much stress to take a case to the court, how then can people now solve their issues if they don't pursue it to the end to say, okay, if 3 or 4 courts and judges have given the same judgment, maybe I should let it be?
Well, you go to court for one thing, redress. You go to court to get redress for the law to solve your problem. Understand? You don't go to court nobody goes to court because of fun. Nobody goes to court. Is not a party. People spend money in court. Lawyers take a lot of money. So going to court is not fun. People go there for redress, just like those who INEC robbed of the mandate that people give to them. Understand? So court is not party, but I know that what they are saying cannot happen because it's already in the Constitution, and what they say cannot change the Constitution.
All right, let's look at something else before we move away from this particular topic, right? The AGF says, in his words, we must begin to develop innovative solutions towards enhancing the working capacity of the Supreme Court, cutting down on the number of appeals that get to the Supreme Court, implementing critical judicial reforms, as well as adopting alternative dispute resolution mechanisms. Adopting alternative dispute resolution mechanisms. I would ask, what does that mean? Outside court settlement. So you're saying if someone is not happy with if someone has taken a case to court, or before they take a case to court, they should seek for other ways that they can actually settle. Is it not when people look at it and say, oh, there is no way we're going to settle this thing any other way, let us take it to a court of competent jurisdiction. This judge does not know you, does not know myself, and this judge will be able to give a non-partisan, non-biased judgment. Why is it not just a lawyer, not just a judge, but the Chief Justice, but the AGF saying, oh, go and look for alternative ways to resolve your dispute instead of coming to court because the workload is too much on us.
You know, this APC government knows how to appoint the wrong people. The former CGN, Tanku, was a disaster. So this is a disaster succeeding a disaster. So they always know how to appoint wrong people into office. Those who can willingly do their bidding. And that's what we are having at the moment.
All right, lastly, on the same issue, the AGF and the CJN have also said lawyers should stop engaging in analysis of cases pending in courts in the media. It also says the doctrine of sub judice enjoins both lawyers and members of the public to refrain, to stop commenting on and discussing cases that are in court in the media. Now, we know that right here we do analysis a lot on our news and on several news programs as well. We do a lot of analysis, and sometimes this might also border on cases that are in court. Many times I know that our analysts do not preempt the judgment of the court, but when you talk about a case that is in court, we know of the doctrine of sub judice that says, oh, once the case is in court, you are not allowed to talk about maybe how the case will go. But what about how the case is going?
These people, most of them are suffering from short memories. This man last week said that public opinion cannot influence court judgments. That there's no way that Nigerians will use their social media and force them to do what they don't want to do. Understand? So why should you stop us from talking about issues in court when you have said that public opinion or analysis will not affect the judgment in the court? Understand? So the issue is that you have every right to talk. If a thief is arrested, if a politician is arrested, we cannot say that so and so politician was arrested and has been taken that to court. Understand? The truth is that if it's a real court, a court works with the evidence before.
That has said that 70% of Nigerians are poverty-stricken. It says majority of Nigerians currently live in poverty. In fact, over 70% of Nigerians are living below the poverty level. He noted that there's tension, unrest, anxiety, pressure, confusion, hatred, anguish, pain, distress, and transferred aggression amongst many people. Mr. Nasuke, this would seem to be a mouthful, but is there any lie in what he said?
Well, that man, if you check the 2023 election cases, he has more than every other lawyer in the country. Cases. He has more than every other lawyer in the country. He is the person that defended the Tinubu at the Appeal and Supreme Court. He defended so many governors. So he is part of the problem that we are having in Nigeria. He is in the same shoe with Jega. That's Atahiru Jega, the former INEC national chairman. Those who doesn't practice what they preach. Okay, more than 70% of Nigerians are into anguish, are into suffering, are into hardship. What is the cause? Bad leadership. And he has been instrumental to the installing of bad leaders in the country right from time. He has helped to install a lot of governors that did not win election. The biggest problem that Nigeria have is bad leadership. Once we can get the right leader in the country, the number of poverty of poor people will reduce by over 50. It happened in China. It happened in Singapore. It happened in Malaysia. Understand? The problem we have in Nigeria is not our religion. It's not a Christian Muslim. It's not Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo. Our problem is bad leadership. And whoever is helping to install bad leaders is part of the problem. So as I said, in case of Atahiru Jega, we can take the message but drop the messenger in the dustbin.
Won't we say he's just doing his job as a lawyer defending his client?
And imposing bad leaders. He is doing his job, understand? But at least democracy is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. In a democratic government, it is votes that determines who wins. In a democracy, the people's vote must count. Whoever is declared winner must be a reflection of the votes of the people. Understand? Then when the people's vote fails to count and somebody else helps to install that person as a leader, that person is not helping the people. That person is not helping the masses. So that's what I'm trying to say. I don't say that anybody should not do his job. I'm doing mine. So I cannot stop anybody from doing his or her own. Is that to say you should be particular about the kind of cases that he takes if he's going to be talking on things like this? Particular. In the world, two things works. Moral over money. Moral over money. People over profit. Understand? That's how we know good people. Those who prioritize moral over money. This thing that I'm going to do, is it right? Is it morally right? This thing that I'm going to do, even though I'm going there to make money, is it to the detriment of the people? So moral over money and people over profit. This is what every right-thinking person should be thinking before going to defend any case in the court. If your interest is just on the money that you are going to be paid, if you want to make profit over people, if you want to make money over moral, then you are not on the side of the people. If you want to make money over upholding your morals, you're not on the side of the people. You heard it from Mr. Peter Anosike, who is with me on the recap this evening. You will recall that Mr. Peter Anosike is a philosopher, a development economist, a journalist, and a best-selling author. We're discussing several different issues that trended during the week right here on the recap. And the one we're talking about now is that 70% of Nigerians are poverty stricken. It's 3 minutes before 5 p.m. At exactly 5 p.m., the phone lines will be open. I can see your calls coming in. I can see your messages coming in on WhatsApp. Do keep them coming. I can also see your comments on our YouTube platform. Keep them coming in as well. We surely do appreciate you for watching, for clicking right there. Go on YouTube. We're live right now. In case you just want to put faces to the names or faces to the voices, head on over to our YouTube channel. It is Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Send a message to our WhatsApp platform. It is 0700 903 903 9 0700 903 9039. Mr. Peter Anosike, 70% though, 70%. That's even a wrong figure. 95% of Nigerians are living under poverty. That's below the poverty level. Understand me? That is to say they can't afford basic amenities. Basic amenities. Even in today's Nigeria, even the rich are also suffering. The rich are also suffering in today Nigeria. So saying 70 is even a wrong figure, because it's not on the side of the people. He lives in Ikoyi, understand? So he doesn't know what those in the mainland are going through, understand? So maybe he sees poverty when he goes to Ekiti. All right, then it is a few seconds before 5 p.m. Who's going to be our lucky first caller before we delve into the remaining topics that we have? Next up, we want to talk about President Tinubu's
first 6 months in office. The federal government spends hugely, citizens are not feeling the impact. Look at this. In the last 6 months, 3 tiers of government, the federal, state, and local government have shared 5.57 trillion naira as allocation from the Federal Account Allocation Committee, FAAC. Now, in these first 6 months, since the president assumed power on May 29, the federal government has had 2.097 trillion as allocation. The state government got theirs, the 774 local government areas got that, the oil producing states, also got theirs as 13% derivation. But here is the thing. Inflation has increased from 26.72% in September to 27.33% in October. Now, these are not even November figures. Probably if you check November figures and this December figures, due to the U-tide, it might have increased even more than this. Talk about human development indices. The Worldometer has put Nigeria's population at 226 million with a life expectancy of 53.89 years. That's about 54 years if we have to approximate it, 54 years. So if you live older than 54 years as a Nigerian, you try.
It's a miracle.
Let's also talk about poverty. The government multidimensional poverty index reports that about 63% of persons living in Nigeria, that's about 133 million people, are multidimensionally poor.
That's a conservative estimate.
That's 63%. All right. Now, out of school children as well. The Universal Basic Education Commission Executive Secretary says we need 20,000 schools in Nigeria, with a shortage of 20,000 schools and 907,000 classrooms. Out of school children. So we're looking at out of school children, poverty, human development, life expectancy, hardship, inflation. What would be your scorecard for President Tinubu's first 6 months in office? Or are we judging him too harshly in bringing this up?
Well, my scorecard is one: he has succeeded in achieving his life ambition of becoming a president. That's good for him. Number two, he has succeeded in having fun, junketing all over the world. But what is it on the side of the people? As that report said, there's nothing for the people in these 6 months. All we have been hearing is words and no action. And what I mean by action is the effect on the prices of things in the market. Because prices of food commodities in the market are not coming down, rather they are going high. Understand me? Even bread, which is our staple food in those days, are no more affordable. I remember Queen's Meal some 5 years ago sells for around 250 naira. Now Queen's Meal is going for 1,000 or even more. That's UTC. Understand me? So nothing for the poor man in these 6 months of Tinubu's government, because prices of fuel is going high and high. Gas is going high and high. Food commodities, I don't know, rice now could be between 50,000 and 60,000 naira per bag. Understand? So what has the poor man benefited in these 6 months? The answer is nothing. So he has thrown a lot of people into poverty. He has thrown the subsidy that he removed without thinking of the consequences has created more hardship. The cure has become worse than the disease. So Nigerian masses has not really benefited anything from the Tinubu government at this time. That's in his first 6 months. This doesn't matter. Even those who voted for him are complaining now. They are shedding tears now because what people don't know, you are PVC, permanent voters card, is your freedom and your jail. Understand me? You either free yourself with your PVC by electing a good person or put yourself in jail with your PVC. So when they say that your destiny is in your own hands, your PVC is your destiny. The way you use it determines what you will get. And everybody is getting it how he or she used it. Because there's no separate filling stations for APC, PDP, or LP. If you go to the market woman at Oyimbo will not ask you, did you vote for Atiku Abubakar or for P2B or for Bondame Tinubu? Understand? Everything is being determined by the market forces, not who you voted for. So when we were crying those before the election, vote for the right candidate, understand? Some people felt that we are being sentimental or we don't know what we are saying. But now it's from fry pan to fire. So the Tinubu's 6 months had not done anything meaningful for the poor Nigerians.
But there are some policies that have been put in place in this time, one of which of note is the student loan bill.
Who has benefited? We are talking of his 6 months in office. Even the salary they promised, they say it will start by April. Understand?
It was supposed to start in September. Is that minimum wage or the wage award for the NLC? Because we know the federal government and the NLC have been having so many back and forth.
They say the new minimum wage is starting by April.
By April, yes.
Understand?
The new minimum wage.
They say the students' allowance will start by September. But now they have shifted to when? January. Understand? So the issue is that until you see, you believe.
So this is a case of seeing is believing.
Understand? Until you see, you believe, and it's only an idiot that will go for that student loan
because of because of what is attached.
Get ready to go to jail. Sign it and go to jail. Sign that loan for anybody and prepare and go to jail.
Okay, I can see your messages on our WhatsApp platform. Keep them coming. Who is our lucky first caller for the day? Good evening. Welcome to the recap.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening. I'm happy to speak my mind this evening.
It's great to hear from you. Please go ahead.
Yeah. All right. I thank Mr. Anosike, who is giving us the thing as it's supposed to be, and I thank you who is in the studio there with him. God bless you.
Thank you.
I want to talk about our legal, those that are occupying the seat of our legal department in this country. I call it department because I think it's the third after presidency. Since they have missed it all due to their pursuance of monetary, or in fact they have bastardized that their section of our this. How on earth can a judge, or rather could a judge say no case should be brought to Supreme Court anymore?
He didn't say no case. He said we should reduce the number of cases that come to the Supreme Court.
Indirectly, he's telling us no case. How are we sure that if I take my case to Supreme Court, or you sitting down there take your case to Supreme Court, that they will attend to you? How are we sure that who is that person that they will attend to? So they are telling us that they will only attend to those that matters as usual. Then the poor masses can go to hell. So that has shown us that they have failed. They have failed because, in fact, let me tell you, Nigerians are not happy with them. Nigerians, the poor masses, those people they see as poor, and they cannot do anything, one day you will see that they will rise up. We are only praying that it will not happen in Nigeria. But if it happens, who knows me, where I'm hiding? They know them where they are. They will look for them. People are not happy with them.
Okay.
So, I think they are confused. They are biased. They are confused. They don't know what they are doing. That man that said that, and if it were in a good environment, in a good country, let me say, where justice, he's supposed to have resigned by now or be removed from office. All right.
Thank you so much.
Going from there.
Okay.
Yeah, no. I'm not done. I'm not done. Please.
All right. Please try to round off so we can also pick other people's calls.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Now, going from there to the last topic you discussed, nobody has ever benefited from this present government. In fact, this present government is like the last government before him. Nobody is happy. During this Christmas, you will see what will happen. This rice that they are selling 50-something naira will be sold for 100,000. This rice that is being sold now for 50-something thousand is going up to 100,000. Where are we going? How can people be happy? Nobody is happy. Nobody is happy. We're only praying to God. God will take care. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your call. You are my first caller for this evening. 0700 903 903 903 is the number to call to be a part of the conversation. 0700 903 903 903. Call me up and let us have a conversation on the recap this evening. So one more topic before we call it a day. Yes, we're taking the show up until 6 p.m. So call me up. I can see your messages on WhatsApp. You're commenting on our YouTube platform. Keep them coming. Because you're already calling, let's talk about the last topic, because when the caller's calling, Mr. Nosige, they'll be talking about all the different topics that we've raised. Gambling in Africa. Indications state that Nigeria is the largest gambling market in Africa. In fact, over 65 out of 200 million Nigerians, out of 226 million Nigerians, 65 million Nigerians engage in betting, and $975 million worth of bets are placed daily in Nigeria. Now, Mr. Nosike, this would seem that almost everyone knows someone who is involved in betting. How did we get to a point where it became something that was totally acceptable? We know it's not illegal. To many people, it's not immoral, but it's such a game of luck and probability and prediction that has caused so many people to lose their lives. In fact, I was reading a story. Yes, that someone sent earlier today, and the person said he had saved 5 million naira to travel out of the country for school. He had to defer his admission to January, saying, by that January he would have saved up enough. Someone close to him now played bets and won a huge amount of money. He now thought to himself and said, if I put my money in betting, I'll win more and I'll travel with it. He ended up losing that money and had only 35,000 naira left in his account. Is betting a scourge, or is it, I don't know, is it something we should be happy about?
Betting is a game of chance, understand? And they said that devil always find job for idle hands. If those people who are betting are fully engaged, they will not be doing it. They are looking for shortcuts for money. Understand? They are looking for, because the country is tough. Understand? So they are looking for a way out, but an easy way out.
A quick way.
Understand? So, and the worst of all is that, in short, we are grooming a betting generation. This betting has even entered the secondary schools. Go to any university student, he has a betting app in his phone. And this betting gives you false hope. You are going to win, you are going to win, you are going to win. But the bet company owners are in business. And the one principle of business is that company must not lose money. Company must not lose money. That is one principle of business. So they can only pay you from their profit, not from their capital. They are paying you from what you give to them. They are taking their own and giving you back. They can never lose. It is only those who are betting that will lose. Understand? But because there's no job in the country, because the country is in a mess, everybody is looking for a way to survive. Betting is a self-help because they don't have any other things to do. Nigerian masses are losing hope on government. Nothing is coming from the government. No employment, no incentive, no anything. Businesses are closing shop. How do you want them to survive? That's why most of them are going into betting as a way to. The Nigerians are in a survival mood now. Everybody is in a survival mood. So whatever will make you to survive, go into it. And people are seeing betting as a way out. And that's why they are going into it. Understand me?
Can we say isn't this much better than going into crime?
For me, it's part of crime. Understand?
Well, betting is not fraud.
For me, when you become addicted to betting, you must look for money by all means to bet. It's like somebody who is addicted to cocaine or heroin. Once that urge, ordinarily, it's not a criminal act. Understand? But once that urge comes, you must even send your car to get that drug and inhale. So betting has the potential of leading people into committing crimes. Understand? It is a very fast road into it. And it is happening, nobody's talking about it. It is now it has become a norm in the country. Even in the universities. Check every student phone, you see a betting app. And you see them talking of that they will win and buy a car before they graduate from school. They are going to win 11 million, 12 million, and so on and so forth. But it cannot come. These are companies who pay taxes. And they must pay that tax from your betting. So, for me, as I said, we are now growing a betting generation. Out of every 3 Nigerians, 1 bet. Understand? Out of every 3 Nigerians, even those in offices, they bet with their phones. Those that works in good offices like banks and so on and so forth, all of them bet. So this is not a tout or street thing. Many Nigerians are into betting. Even those earning fantastic pay. It has entered our DNA, and stopping it is going to be very, very difficult.
All right, then. We have a call. Let's take this caller. Good evening. Welcome to the recap.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome to the recap. What's your name and location, please?
My name is Majek. Majek Odumi.
Welcome, Majek. Where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Friday Yaba.
All right, then. Let's hear from you.
In fact, I wanted to send a WhatsApp message before, but thank God, because for many months I could not call. It will not be available. I only sent messages. You see, I want to correct that Mr. Peter Anozike. Some of the things he said, he doesn't have evidence. and it's not right. For instance, the student, we said, it's a stupid person that will collect that loan. Are you telling me, although I'm no more in school, I remember that when I was doing that, if I have this opportunity, I will collect. Indirectly, you are telling me I'm a stupid person. He shouldn't be saying that. Then most of the time, when he is talking about, he says, we Nigerians, he should count himself. I have benefited something from this APC government. Everything is not money. With all the policies trying to fix the country, I can see, and I know it will be better.
Okay.
And I have been empowered through an organization, through the government.
Okay.
Because I'm not really feeling fine.
All right.
So that's how we're talking.
Okay, Mr. Majek, I'd like to ask you two questions, right? You said if you were still a student, you would take the student loan. What is it about the student loan that makes you feel like it is a very good option for students? And secondly, in what areas have you benefited from the 6 months of this administration?
Let me start from the student loan. It's not by force. If you want to, there are some people who are living. Let me tell you, there are people who are living in poverty. Some people are even sponsoring themselves, doing part-time. So if they see that opportunity, they will collect it. You don't think for people or pray
Does
for
he know the conditions?
Happen. So through these 6 months of 6 months of Tinubu's government, one, I wasn't feeling fine. I think Lagos State was empowering people due to subsidy removal and so on. I was given a machine to start, not a motorcycle.
It's what kind of machine? You were given a grinding machine as part of an empowerment program.
The grinding machine.
Apart from yourself, how many other people do you know that also received that?
I know them now. There are many now that received it, but not all. There are many. They did it in batches. But what I'm saying is that you shouldn't be saying no Nigerians. For instance, look at what that man said. He said 70% of people are living in low poverty. He came on the here saying it's a lie that it is 95%. Where did you do your research? How do you know it's 95? Somebody said something. Who should we believe? Should we believe you or him? I'm in poverty because I'm not working. I've been sick for years. But God has been sustaining me. And I'm still receiving help. Because when you are good, you will be getting help once you believe in your God. And what Tinubu is doing now, is like they're traveling now, so they are condemning it. He's traveling for economic recovery. Germany, they are signing this power energy contract with Nigeria. So, but you have to be patient. Not that Tinubu is not a magician. He's not a magician. Don't see anything bad. Though he elected bad government, but he's trying to fix it. Just like I'm a medical personnel now. We also say something in the hospital. We said doctors, because some patients will bring patients to the hospital. They will be running and they should do it. Doctors are not. They are not magicians. They only care. And it is God that heals. That's why when you see in Lutz, Lagos University Teaching Hospital, you see their logo, their slogan. They said, God heals. We care, but we care. So that is, if we are saying something, don't be carrying every Nigerian that we are living in low poverty. So we are living in low poverty, and I can see people who are complaining. I voted for APC. Don't say, I still heard him saying they are now regretting. And some will regret, but me, I'm not regretting that I voted it.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Majek. Thank you so much, Mr. Majek.
He did better as he did in Lagos State.
Okay.
He did better. He led a plan in Lagos State, and that's what the successors are still following.
Thank you so much.
This man is not resting. And he is not resting, going up and down. People are complaining he's traveling. So if you just sit down in Nigeria without finding solutions to our something. Some of the policy he has been making, they are good, but we are expecting action. instead of just promises.
Thank you so much, Mr. Majek. We really need to hear from other people, all right? Thank you so much for your call and for your opinion. You as well. Good evening. Welcome to the recap.
We are good, but we are expecting action.
Hello. Thank you so much,
Good evening,
Mr.
Ijeoma.
Majek. Yes. Can you hear me? How are you today?
I can hear you. Can you hear me, Ijeoma?
Yes, I can hear you. What's your name and your location, please?
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Peter.
Good evening.
My name is Stitches. I'm calling from Ikwaja.
Welcome, Stitches. Let's hear what your opinion on all of the matters we've discussed today.
Yes. I wasn't even intending on calling. I'm just enjoying listening to Mr. Anosike analyzing everything. I just want to quickly say that poverty is a thing of the mind, and it has sunk into so many people that they even like now they are defending the poverty. Like, how can you? I'm not tackling anybody. Just let me peacefully say this. I'm not tackling anybody, but this last caller just said something that baffled me. You said that they said 70% are in poverty, and Mr. Anosike said it's a lie. You are tackling the man for it, and now you said you are benefited, receiving a grinding machine, and you are benefited. You said that there's no poverty and you are happy. The way it's sounding, you are almost obviously over 50. Let me put it that way. And you are happy that you got a grinding machine from your government and you are benefited from this government. This is the thing that is killing us. This thing is a pure state of tribalism and the way that we vote for people because we don't even care about this thing. You don't even care about how. See, other countries, even if your finger breaks, you can't work, they'll pay you disabilities. Other countries, there are incentives for the citizens. Being aged, they pay you. You're jobless, they pay you, they give you unemployment. We don't have anything from this government. They collect from us. You buy recharge card, you buy everything, they collect taxes over everything. Your salary, they must take from it. And one person is happy saying he has benefited with a grinding machine. And now you are saying that Nigerians are not in poverty when everything, you go on the street, you are on the street seeing the way things are on the street. Some people do trek instead of taking transportation because they cannot afford it anymore. The fuel price has hiked. I know, I just bought a bag of rice some days ago. I know how much I got it. And it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. Like for 1 week, I don't get any food for house. They manage myself, which has never happened before. I can never beg, and I would never say, I beg, I never chop. I will find my way peacefully without doing anything criminal. We are all striving, and we have been struggling all the while, and we are still struggling now. But the struggle has now become like the money you spend normally, even if you say, okay, let me budget this amount, it's still now to use. The NEPA, they prepare this. It goes just like that. You buy, they give you 100 units for whether 5,000 naira, and before you know, it's in 2 weeks, it's gone without doing anything. The tariff is high, everything is high. What has this government done? Now, like I said before, every other countries, they give incentives to their citizens. Not having employment, you'll be paid for it. Having an injury, you'll be paid for disability and everything. And we here, we just they struggle, they collect our money, and one person they happy saying to benefit from the government because they buy a grinding machine. Man, thank you very much, man.
Thank you, Stitches. Thank you so much for calling. Let us hear from others. The number to call is 0700 903 903 and 903 to be a part of the conversation. You can also send a message to our WhatsApp lines. It's 0700 903 9039. We are live on YouTube at Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Send a message. You can just put your comment in the comment box in the comment section. I will take it before the end of the program. Call me up. We're still talking about a plethora of issues right here on the recap. Welcome to the recap. Good evening. What's your name and location, please?
Hello, good evening.
Hi there. Good evening, ma'am.
It's
What's
Madam Quality. Yeah, it's Madam Quality calling from Munchi.
Welcome, Madam Quality. Let's hear from you.
Thank you. Oga Peter, I'm making no.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Auntie Shama, I don't want to call initially, but there's something that triggered me. I'm boiling inside me because of this man that called himself a doctor, a big pack doctor. that say that he has benefited from the government, that he has the boldness to come out and say that he voted for APC, that he's not regretting it.
Madam Quality. Madam Quality. Madam Quality.
In fact, if you know what we are passing, if this man know what is happening, he will not. If you guys even give him more time to speak.
Madam Quality.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. I understand you have an opinion, but please let's not add insult when we are giving our opinion. All right?
We are not. I have not even insulted anybody.
Please, ma'am, don't.
I might insult him if he is not taking.
Please do not. That will not be nice at all.
I say that nobody is suffering.
You know he's entitled to his own opinion.
He got rubbish blender from the government.
You know he's entitled to his own opinion. He feels that he's okay with the way the government is administrating.
His own opinion, he has been taking more she can chew. His own opinion is nothing to write home about. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Quality. Thank you so much for your call. It seemed that Madam Quality heard this and said, no, I have to say something. Okay, Stitches called and he said almost the same thing Madam Quality is saying. Are the annoyances, is it justified?
Well, for me, more than 95% of Nigerians are suffering. Even the rich are suffering the country today. So for him, who said that he's happy because he was given a grinding machine, does he have the electricity to use it?
To use the machine.
Can he be buying fuel for it? So for me, he doesn't deserve we should go on.
All right, then again, I'll reiterate, everyone is entitled to their own opinion. So when you call, let us just hear your opinion. No insults, no quarrels, no fighting. All right, everyone who has called so far, thank you so much. If you want to call, the number is 0700 903 903 903. Again, it's 0700 903 903 903. Good evening. Welcome to the recap.
Good evening, Ijeoma.
What's your name and location, sir?
It's Nemeka from Ejigbo.
Nemeka from Ejigbo. Welcome. How are you today, Nemeka? Let's hear from you.
I'm blessed. God bless you people.
Yeah, good evening, Nemeka.
I agree to my brother, my brother.
Yeah, well done.
Ijeoma, beauty of democracy is that everyone's opinion is welcome. Good opinion of the madman in the street is welcome. Because you can't know the person that can change the country with his own opinion. And everybody has right to belong to any party he or she wants or like. It's the beauty of democracy. It's the beauty of democracy again that every citizen has heavy rights in democracy more than the few people that have hijacked. The caller that said that he benefited from APC government, nobody told him that no one is benefiting from any government. As a citizen, be honest to yourself and say, is it what I deserve with this as a citizen? A country that has oil in an abundantly, and one of mineral resources. There are some at the north there. Nigeria is not taking even 1 naira out of the mineral resources. Some group of people with foreigners are embezzling the land, digging the land every day. Our oil, some people they carry oil for sea, put vessel, carry oil. Oil will not be cut, will not be cheap, for where they put for pocket. That is what I want that person that is saying that is benefit granting machine to know. Some people are in this country. This is getting to 2 decades now. We are living with insecurity. Boko Haram, bandits, gunmen, kidnapping. It's getting to 2 decades. And the APC government have taken 8 years out of it. What are we seeing? As far as they are still kidnapping more than 430 people. Even in Abuja, they are threatening Abuja every day. A whole capital city of a country. We are calling that person that is saying that we are not against anybody. If my enemy can do Nigeria better today, I'm supporting him with 100%.
Okay,
like Baba entered that place, excuse me, Chioma, like Baba entered that place, begin to tackle everybody that caused us into bring this problem for us. Me and Emeka will support him. Like Baba entered there, very useful for 5 ministers. Baba don't come to 5 ministers. I will support him. Like Baba the budget social amount, Baba calling this time, we will support her. Not that you will become we are running into oversight part. We want us to keep quiet. Please, we need a nation that you can be proud of it.
Okay.
Look at our students. Look at our students. Attack our voice. Leave our problem and singing music like school guitar boys, secondary school guitar boys. This country has not what you call it.
Thank you so much, Nemeka.
That was a country. That's what Nigeria is ready to. That was a country.
Thank
and
you.
God forbid that. God bless you people.
Thank you so much, Nemeka. I really appreciate your opinion. You have been on hold. Thank you so much for holding on. Good evening. Welcome to the recap.
Yeah, good evening.
What's your name and location?
My name is Ben. Yeah, I'm calling from US.
Welcome,
My name is
Ben. Welcome, Ben. It's a pleasure to have you on the program. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, I was just listening to what's going on, but I was still surprised that a lot of people are still talking about, Nigeria and the way everything is. And somebody is saying that they benefited from Tinubu. I understand it's their own opinion. You understand? But it's high time we call it spade a spade. These are the same people keeping Nigeria the way it is. These are the same kind of people that is making us go through what we are going through. Because you ask yourself, the same government, when they're in power, they subject you to poverty, to abject and hard hardship. You understand? During election, everybody, you see some part of Nigerians will say, oh, let's fight for good governance and stuff. And you see the same useless, I'm sorry, excuse my language, but I have to use it because they deserve it. Because we are really like people are dying. We're talking about lives. All right? I'm a very civilized country. But it hurts me even more than the people in that country. That the same people who's going through such pain will come out all for, one little, maybe like stuff worth 20,000 naira or 100,000 naira and sell the whole country. In some civilized country, when stuff like that happen, they have a very big revolution. You understand? People stand up and do something and everything will be corrected. I mean, there's corruption in so many parts of the world, but it's not as bad as Nigeria. You understand? It's a very shameful thing. Right now, you go outside and you have that identity of Nigeria, man. You are ashamed of yourself for even saying I'm a Nigerian. Because why? You have people who are leaders who are criminals. You understand? You have judiciary who is not even there to fight for you, who is highly corrupt. You have military people who is supposed to protect you are busy protecting the criminals, protecting people who is actually destroying our own people. It is a shame for even that woman coming to say stuff like that. It is a shame. People should go all out on her. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ben, for your call. I really appreciate it. We do not have so much time anymore, but yes, we're still taking your calls right here on the recap. The number to call is 0700 903 903 and 903. I can see your WhatsApp messages coming in on our WhatsApp platforms. Keep them coming. Okay, so Mr. Notsuke, we're talking about gambling. We're talking about 6 months in office. We're looking at the performance of the President Tinubu administration. My next question will be, do you see the potential in the President Tinubu administration?
You cannot build something on nothing. You cannot build something on nothing. There's nothing substantial that is going on in the country. What we are having is just talk and no action. Tinubu has gone to several countries in the world looking for investors. But I want to assure you that those investors will not come until the right things are done in this country. One, no good investor will go to any country where the court is not functioning. I cannot go and put my investment in a country where I'm not sure of getting justice in the court. That is number one. So all these fraudulent judgments that they are giving in all these tribunal appeal court is going to hurt the country because investors will not come. They have seen that there's no that the court in Nigeria is corrupt. They have seen that they cannot get judgment in Nigeria if they come here and invest and there's a problem. No good investor will go to a country where there's no security. Understand me? No good investor will go to any country where there's no security. No good investor will go to any country where the power system is not working. So these are no good investor will go to a country where there's no enabling environment. So these are the things that the government are supposed to put on ground before going out to look for investors. These investors know the country even more than us. So you cannot go there and tell them stories. They will give you a promise and tell you that it will come, they will not come. Buhari tried it for 8 years. At the end of the day, who came? If you go to US, go to Britain, go to Canada, diplomatically, they will sign agreement with you, give you all the promises, and you go. You wait for them for 4 years, they will not come because there's no enabling environment. Those things, when you talk of FDI, foreign direct investment is not charity organization. They are going there for their own interest. And where their interest cannot be guaranteed, they will not go there. So in the country as it is today, nothing can guarantee their investment. The justice system is fraud. No security, no power, no infrastructure. Why would they come? So for me, for the 6 months, I measure development by the people I'm seeing. When I wake up in the morning, what do I see? If I turn on the switch, the night did not come. I turn on the tap, water did not come. I go out on the road. Youths who are supposed to be busy are doing a different thing. Then the government is not working. So for me, the 6 months is a waste. I'm not God to know what will happen in the next 2, 3, 4 years, but for now, there's nothing substantial that has happened in his first 6 months.
Okay, then we have a caller on hold. Let us take this call. Good evening. Welcome to the recap. Thank you for holding on.
Good evening, Nedu. Nedu, the talk from Swiss.
Welcome, Nedu. How are you today? Let's hear from you on the issues we're discussing.
Code everywhere. That's not the killer, sir.
Okay, sorry about that.
Now it's not our own problem. Niger problem.
Corruption.
Bad leadership. Let me continue from where my brother stopped. No investor will come where there is insecurity. I said it the other day. You see, all investors, everybody communicate with everybody. Just like you are traveling to Canada, you always have to ask around. Do you know anybody in Canada? You ask them. You ask info. How is that country like? Someone will tell you, if you are allergic to cold, don't come. Investors are asking their fellow investors who left Nigeria to our neighboring country, brother, what's up? He said, bros, you go carry fuel come from, this will come from where you there. Now this will they use here, no electricity. You go ask him, okay, apart from that, you say insecurity na baba, you pay a lot of money and you will secure yourself, and after you still pay tax. You see, in Nigeria, we pay a lot of, Nigerian people don't deserve to pay tax. I said it. One, you don't have security provided for yourself. Two, You don't have water, road, everything you provide for yourself. So what are we paying tax for? The reason why we pay tax everywhere abroad. If you are driving car, they will tell you for inland revenue. It's for road maintenance, highway maintenance, everything. You will pay it. You pay all these things before your car could be drive on the road. But they are not doing anything. And nobody is taking them to court.
Okay.
Nobody is suing them. They are working free. How can, if you are an investor, how can you come to invest in a place where you know there is no safe, there is no electricity? A lot of why they left. They know Nigeria is a very huge marketplace, but you cannot keep increasing your goods because of you don't have steady price of electricity. Even the diesel they use, they don't have steady price. It always goes up, goes up, goes up. They leave for our neighboring country. They go to Ghana, Cotonou, and the history made it that even the country decide where they went to. The people are even getting light from Nigeria. Can you imagine?
Okay.
So that is it. How can you invest in such a country? So what are you I heard something about gambling. What about gambling? Well, I don't know something about
it's part of the issues we're talking about, but keep listening. We'll talk more on that so we can hear from and pick other people's calls. All right, Nedu?
Okay, no problem.
Thank you so much for calling all the way from Switzerland. 0700 903 903 903. We'll take about 2 to 3 more calls. I will call it today right here on the recap. Good evening. Welcome to the recap.
Good evening. I'm the one that called back. I want to correct the man that called that challenged me, attacked me. I never said 70% are not living in poverty. I'm only comparing what somebody said 90 and 90, 70 and 95. I know that over 50, over 60%, over 70% of Nigerians are living in poverty, but I don't know the exact. So, secondly, I'm one of the people living in poverty. I'm living with hardship and difficulty. Even to eat, it's not easy for me. Why the machine was even given to me, it was my colleague who wanted me to collect it. At the end of the day, they said I should sell it because I needed money. And somebody sold it for me. And I was able to use the money for something. And then the main benefit I will talk about is all these policies is making. I know it will be better, good by next year, but I'm still watching. Because during the time of Buhari, first time, I voted for Buhari. But when I discovered the way he was misbehaving, second time, I didn't vote. So, concerning Tinubu, the man is trying. Please, I'm not like the other woman who attacked me that I'm a quack. Please, that I'm a quack something. That is an insult. Although you have corrected that. Then he said, he voted for APC. Is she the one that will tell me for the person I voted for? I have voted all the people confessing. I would have voted PDP, but I said let me vote for Tinubu because Tinubu is a man of strategy who can put things forward, who can set something good. So that is it. That is my own opinion. I'm still watching Tinubu. Myself, I'm complaining about some things, but I'm still watching him. I'm still watching the APC government and Tinubu. So I'm waiting till next year that the refinery will work and things will come down.
Thank you so much.
I used to criticize APC now, but constructively, not condemning anything he does. He doesn't know how to do. That's what some people are saying. Travel, they complain about it. If there is no light in Nigeria, let's wait. Maybe the investors have not come. They only went for bargain. So by the time it's 16, better maybe by next year. Who told me that the investors will not come?
Okay.
I know some investors that have left Nigeria truly to another country.
Okay.
Because when during the time of fuel subsidy and price of things are high, I'm not happy as they left. I used to buy. They are the one even selling augmentin. They are manufacturers. Augmentin. I normally I bought it 2,000 naira early this year, and all of a sudden I heard that it was 15,000, 20 something, 30,000. I have to buy other brands.
That's a lot
that is
of
cheaper.
increase.
So So I'm not really happy with what is going on.
All right, Mr. Majek.
We'll just be praying for the government, praying for Tinubu, not that they will be insulting him and talking anyhow.
Thank you so much, sir. We really need to hear from other people, all right, as our time is fast spent. Thank you so much for calling again, you as well. Thank you for staying on hold. Good evening. Welcome to the recap. Thank you so much for holding on. Let's hear from you.
Good evening, Ijeoma Innocent. How you doing? Mr. Anosike, good evening.
Good evening.
What's your name and location, please?
This is Sebastian from New York City.
Welcome, Sebastian. Let's hear from you.
Yes, I am glad that that guy that just spoke now, that he called back, even though his call, the call that he made was a little bit more decent than the first one. I still say that praying for the government is not the solution to our problem. The people that are in power, they have conscience, they know what's going on, and they are not doing the right thing. And as long as they are not doing the right thing, and the people are okay with it, doesn't matter how much you pray, things are not going to change. Opening your eye to vote for one particular party, expecting them to do well, especially this last election, is an exercise in futility. Okay, I hear so much about Tinubu did this, Tinubu did that. Tinubu ruled Lagos for 8 years, and when you come to Lagos, Lagos is like jungle. It's like a jungle.
Are you there? Hello? Oh dear, give us a call back. We definitely want to hear from you. Good evening. Thank you so much for staying on hold. Let's hear from you, sir.
Yes. Good evening to you. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. What's your name and location, please?
Well, my name is Ola Adewale. I'm calling from Atlanta.
Welcome, sir. Let's hear from you.
Well, I'm glad that gentleman, I'm glad we all have our opinions. So he actually expressed how he felt, even though it's in Nigeria. So I'm not going to hold him to that. My opinion is just this. Nigerians per se, based on my assessment, love their oppressors differently. Nigerians, if Nigerians at this point, because based on my analysis, I know Nigerians are suffering. So I have. Let me give you my clue to this, because I think I thought about two opinions. I have two suggestions to Nigerians. The first suggestion is this: for the fact that the country, we know per se that there's corruption in the land, right? So I will use this moment to appeal to this same present government. The commander-in-chief has a very strong power. So because he has the power, he can command or operate, like, let me just say, an operation return the loot. Okay? Because we know Nigerians per se, we know the country is looted seriously, and we can track this loot. So all he needs to do is, okay, instead of borrowing, let him just set up or command an operation, return the loot. Okay? So my other opinion is this. See, for the fact that Nigerians are highly not cooperative, they are in dialogue, in a different concept, I will suggest a constitutional conference so that we can decide. Nigerians per se can make their own decisions and say, okay, for the fact that we cannot all get along, because I don't know whether our not getting along is because of the politicians or even ourselves. Because we created those politicians, they are part of us. So I cannot put them off from Nigerians. Politicians are Nigerians, so that means we created them. So my suggestion again is, let's just come up with that concept. The man in question, the man in power, can probably this time can he can what is he? I mean, I think he's looking for something. A world. He wants to be the great man in the world, right? Or I don't know how he classified it. So this is the time for him, Mr. President, to say, okay, create a constitutional conference. If we like what we see, so be it. If we don't, so be it. So let's decide that. Instead of all this borrowing is not going to help Nigeria.
Thank you so much.
We know that.
Thank you so much, Mr. Adewale. Thank you. Our time is fast spent and we need to go, but I really, really appreciate your call. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for calling and have a wonderful evening. All right, then 5 minutes before 6 p.m. Our time is fast spent. Right now, I will be taking your messages and comment on YouTube and WhatsApp, beginning from our YouTube channels. Oyetunji Ojo says, kudos. Daniel Onuche says, okay, thank you so much. Happy New Month to you as well. Nobleman says, how I wish every Nigerian can just visit Europe for just a week. You will swear for Nigerian leaders. Obi12 Obi says, which court? The Nigerian Judiciary? Well, yes, the Nigerian Judiciary. All right, let me go on and take your messages. This person says, good evening, Chama Innocent and Mr. Peter Anosike. It is very painful that Nigerians keep quiet and walk into darkness. Why should card-carrying members of APC be appointed Rex? The kind of judgment emanating from our courts are hopeless, and Ariwola knows the truth. It is a waste of precious time going to the courts. Okay, thank you so much for your message. Good evening, VOP. Is everything to push Nigerians into war? They all travel to countries where there is workable laws, where those who are meant to be above don't go against the law in our country, where those who make the law don't obey the law they make. Thank you so much for your message. Good evening, Chairman. Greetings to your guests. Okay, we listeners are no fools. We can discern genuine analysis from a paid election loser. Listen to him carefully. He defames anybody not on the same page with his principal, Obi. Meanwhile, I would advise Chairman to tread softly and be okay. Come into the ring as a politician instead of pretending as a radio analyst. Greetings from Team Awotunsin Ikoton, Lagos. Team, these are quite hefty, but thank you so much. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening, and thank you for sending in your opinion. Betting is gambling, and gambling can be associated with crime because a gambler can be desperate and do anything to get money. Thank you so much for your message. You didn't add your name. Please always make sure you do that. Good evening, VOP. Please tell Majek that we are not discussing political party empowerment, rather national empowerment. Good evening, Mr. Nosike and Chioma. It is a disgrace that a grinding machine is now a trophy for a poverty state of mind. Ezekiel from Ejibo. Good evening, Auntie Chioma. Greetings to Mr. Anosike as well. I salute you. I was moved to forward this. Okay, what about the man that says he benefited in this regime? I'll tell him congratulations. But I'll ask him, since the medical personnel, is he supposed to have a palliative of a grinding machine? Do he knows how much medicals benefit from their government? Let him continue benefiting such. Evening crew. Please after the show listen to Johanna by Eddie Grant, Cash and Carry by Adebantu, Kurumi by Beautiful Nubia. It shows what is going on with this government. Okay, thank you so much for your messages. Good evening to you all. Tinubu's globetrotting will be in vain since what he's projecting and selling before that country is in reality the opposite. Foreign countries better their economy and place it on the social media and the like, such that whoever finds it interesting for greener pastures will go for it and not necessarily visiting any country. Let the president emulate them in that regard. Chisco, evening crew. Okay, thank you so much for your messages. Good evening, Chama. I'm Nemeka from Ejibo. APC government is... Okay, if you're hoping for renewed hope, I tell you that sorry is your name. Thank you so much for your message. And it seems some people like the security problem in the southeast. Ostino from Olodia Papa. 2 minutes to go, Mr. Nosike. Final words in 30 seconds. Let's call it today.
Let's do it again next week.
Final words. Let's do it again next week on Saturday. We'll be back with the recap by 4 p.m. My name is Choma Innocent. I have been your host. To every caller, to everyone who sent a message, to everyone who has been a part of this program from the beginning, to all those who are watching on YouTube and sending their comments. Thank you so much. My name is Choma Innocent. The world news at 6 comes up next. Keep listening to Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Let's do this again on Saturday.